Get to know each of the 12 mayoral candidates with KKTV 11 News Know Before You Vote with this in-depth interview featuring Jim Miller.
I want to start with asking you, what do you think is the mayor's primary role?
Safety and infrastructure is obviously the number one roles of the mayor, managing things and making sure things are budgeted and going properly, adequately, and efficiently.
What do you think of Mayor John Suthers' performance, and if elected, would you keep going in the same direction or change course?
I honestly don't care for a lot of the things he did, especially kind of bragging about excessive, funding for road, another tax on it for the roads and stuff. And I think he may have done some good things, and it might be good to look at the good things even before that maybe he accomplished. But I think reevaluating everything and getting rid of some of the redundant type things and really looking at everything and then making it better would be the best. Use the good stuff he did and utilize that and work from it. And some of the stuff that should have already been done, let's build up on that.
How would you propose to stretch taxpayer dollars and still achieve your goals as mayor?
I think it can be done if we actually look and, we budget every day, right? Every day at our households, every day working, every day living. I think if we just made sure things were just budgeted right and spent where they're supposed to be spent, it shouldn't be too overtly complicated.
How can the mayor have an impact on homelessness in the region?
I think we need to look at some of the charities, the nonprofits, some of that, make sure they're actually delivering on what they're doing, make sure the stuff and the programs that we have going on now are actually delivering efficiently, effectively, and just make sure everything's actually going where it's supposed to be going. Maybe we do a little more verification and what some of the programs are with the homelessness stuff. And some of the things too, nobody ever seems to talk to them. I get to talk to them. They're by my shop. They're in front of my house all the time. I got to deal with them on a pretty regular basis. They are people, keep the humanity into it and talk to them, figure out what's going on and what they do or don't like, even with the stuff that's been provided for them to use or why they do or don't use these things.
What can the next elected mayor do to help with the affordable housing crisis?
I think the only thing that the mayor could probably do is look at some of the zoning stuff and bring that up and we could probably look at what Japan does and see how they do it with limited land and, lots of people having to live in, limited space or so forth. But a lot of it's probably just mainly zoning. They got those tiny homes, those micro homes, some of those drop homes that they fold out and they don't take up a lot of space. But I mean, you start looking at that and a little tiny piece of dirt to put it on and plug it into amenities. I mean, you're looking at homes that are not more than 50, 80 grand, somewhere around there with someone owning their own thing. A lot of us working people go home to do what? Shower, take a nap, and get a bite to eat and get back to it. It's not the Hilton, but it's still a place that you can call your own.
How should Colorado Springs handle city growth given the water constraints in the West?
Well, that old water contract is how old? Over 100 years old for Colorado? That brings water all the way to San Diego, I believe, right? So maybe we need to look at talking to some of the state stuff to renegotiate some of that water deal. And then we really need to get some non-political, unbiased reviews of all the water stuff before we start really dabbling too deep into it. We don't need no angles or politically or biased angles on any of that stuff. But if we don't have water, we don't have a city, we don't have a society,
Finally, Jim, why should voters cast their ballot for you?
I'm just a guy. I deal with the same stuff everybody else deals with, working every day, trying to just do our day to day. And we see this stuff face first. We deal with it. I'm one of them. I'm us. I'm the people. We are just what we are. I deal with this stuff the same way they do. So if they think that's a good idea to have someone that deals with the same things they deal with and understands what they're talking to and talking about, and they can talk to me and speak with me, that might be the reason too. Like I said, I'm just a guy.
Jim Miller, candidate for mayor of Colorado Springs, we thank you again for joining us in our 11 Breaking News Center, and we wish you all the best this upcoming election season.